Clarity creates power. The clearer you see your future, the faster you move toward it. Most people drift through life hoping things will work out. They wait for opportunities, luck, or a miracle. But the truth is, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you're as clear about. Clarity gives direction, and direction gives energy. It's hard to feel motivated when you don't know what you're aiming for. A fuzzy target doesn't inspire action, but a clear one lights a fire in your heart. When you know exactly what kind of life you want to build, what kind of person you want to become, and what kind of results you want to produce, your daily decisions start aligning automatically. You stop wasting time on meaningless activities. You stop saying yes to everything. You become selective, intentional, and focused. Clarity gives you the power to say no to distractions and yes to the disciplines that shape destiny. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. Imagine a builder without a blueprint. Every nail, every cut, every wall is uncertain. That's how most people live, busy but without design. But when you have a clear plan, every effort counts. You know why you're doing what you're doing. You know where it's taking you. That awareness turns ordinary work into purposeful progress. The clearer the vision, the less resistance you feel because every step makes sense. Clarity also builds confidence. When you're clear, you stop second-guessing yourself. You no longer chase every shiny idea or follow the noise of others. You move with conviction because you know where you're headed. Most doubt comes from confusion. People aren't tired, they're scattered. But when your mind is focused, your spirit strengthens. You become calm, decisive, and powerful. Clarity demands reflection. You must take time to think, to write, to define. What do you really want? What kind of future do you see for yourself 5 years from now? How much income do you want to earn? What kind of relationships do you want to build? What kind of contribution do you want to make? These are not just daydreams. They are your design instructions. The more specific your answers, the more accurately life will respond. Once you gain clarity, protect it. Doubt will try to cloud it. Opinions will try to reshape it. Life will test it. But remember, storms don't destroy clarity. They reveal how deeply you've built it. Review your goals daily. Speak them aloud. Write them on paper. See them until they become part of you. Because repetition doesn't just build memory, it builds identity. And your identity determines your behavior. Clarity also helps you attract the right people. When you know where you're going, the right mentors, partners, and opportunities will begin to appear. People are drawn to direction. No one wants to follow confusion. Your clarity becomes a magnet for collaboration. It shows others you're serious, focused, and worth joining. So don't wait for the fog to lift, clear it yourself. Sit down, think deeply, and write the script for your life. Decide who you will be, what you will do, and what you will stand for. Because until you make a clear decision, life will keep deciding for you. Power doesn't come from activity, it comes from alignment. The moment your mind sees the path clearly, your energy, faith, and persistence rise naturally. Clarity creates power because it transforms hope into direction, motion into progress, and time into legacy. Get clear on your vision, and your vision will clear the way. Success isn't something you stumble upon, it's something you study. If you want to become truly successful, you must be willing to examine the lives, habits, and philosophies of those who've already achieved what you desire. There's no need to reinvent the wheel when someone has already drawn the blueprint. Every achievement, every breakthrough, every great result leaves behind clues. The question is, are you observant enough, humble enough, and disciplined enough to follow them? Most people look at successful individuals and only see the outcome, the wealth, the recognition, the lifestyle. But few take time to understand the process, the patterns, and the principles behind those results. The truth is, success has a structure. It operates by cause and effect, and once you learn the causes, the effects will follow you as naturally as night follows day. Instead of asking why them, ask how them. How did they think? How did they make decisions when things weren't certain? How did they spend their mornings? How did they manage failure? If you can answer those questions, you can begin to replicate their success in your own unique way. You see, life rewards those who are willing to learn, not just from books, but from examples. Reading about success is one thing, but observing how successful people move through life is an education of its own. Watch how they handle pressure. Notice how they speak, how they plan, how they manage their energy and emotions. These are not small details. They're the framework of their success story. The challenge for most people is that they admire success from a distance instead of dissecting it up close. Admiration without understanding leads to frustration, but admiration combined with study leads to transformation. When you study a blueprint, you're not copying the builder. You're learning the design principles. Your success doesn't need to look identical to someone else's. The point isn't imitation, it's adaptation. You learn the structure so you can build your own version of it. Maybe someone built a business and you want to build a career. The principles are the same: vision, discipline, consistency, and the courage to act despite uncertainty. That's what the blueprint teaches. But remember, studying success is not a spectator sport. You can't just read, watch, and hope. You must apply. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. The real growth happens when you take what you've learned and put it into practice, even if it's imperfect. The first attempt won't always be right, but it's through trial and correction that your own version of success begins to take shape. Every builder revises the plan as the structure rises. You must do the same, adjust, improve, and refine until the life you're building aligns with the vision you studied. The moment you decide to study success seriously, life opens new doors. You start thinking differently. You stop blaming luck or timing. You begin to see patterns, the connection between effort and reward, between attitude and opportunity. You realize success isn't a mystery. It's a method. It's not something to chase, it's something to create. And that creation starts the day you commit to understanding how it's done. So find your mentors, read their words, listen to their lessons, and more importantly, observe their actions. Let their blueprints guide you until your own becomes clear. Remember, you're not following their path, you're learning from their map. And once you've mastered the design, you can build something extraordinary, uniquely your own. Because success, at its core, is the art of studying what works and applying it with faith, patience, and relentless persistence. When you think about success, most people imagine the grand outcome, the dream home, the thriving business, the financial freedom, the applause. But the truth is, none of that begins with something big. It all begins with something small, something you do every day without applause or spotlight. The bridge between a dream and its achievement is built from daily habits. Big goals sound exciting, but they are only achievable when you learn to break them into consistent, manageable steps. You see, you can't climb a mountain in one leap. You take one step, then another, and before long, you realize you're higher than you thought possible. That's how success works. When people set goals, they often overestimate what they can do in a week, but underestimate what they can do in a year with steady daily effort. A small disciplined action done repeatedly is far more powerful than a burst of energy done occasionally. You can't control how fast results come, but you can control how consistently you show up. The real reward of breaking big goals into daily habits isn't just achieving the goal, it's becoming the kind of person capable of maintaining that success. When you discipline yourself to act daily, you train your mind to focus, your body to cooperate, and your spirit to persist. Habits shape identity, and identity determines destiny. The best part is small daily habits compound, just as a penny doubled becomes millions over time. A small improvement practice daily multiplies into something extraordinary. If you improve by just 1% each day, you're not 365% better by the end of the year. You're over 37 times better because growth compounds. That's the quiet miracle of discipline. But here's the warning: habits work both ways. They can build your future, or they can bury it. The same consistency that builds success can also create failure if directed toward the wrong behaviors. Neglect is also a habit. Skipping one small task might not seem like much, but repeat it often enough, and it becomes a pattern. And every pattern produces a predictable result. So be careful which direction your habits are leading you. because they are either constructing your dreams or slowly dismantling them. The secret of all great achievers is that they fall in love with the process, not just the result. They understand that daily disciplines may be simple, but they're not easy. Waking up early, studying, saving, exercising, these are ordinary acts. Yet when done persistently, they create extraordinary lives. Jim Rohn used to say, "Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day." That's not poetry, that's truth. So whatever your dream is, stop asking how long it will take and start asking what you can do today. The future doesn't change in one big moment. It changes in thousands of small ones. You don't need to wait for motivation. Just create momentum. Because one small action done consistently will always outperform 100 great intentions left undone. Break your big goals into daily habits, and soon you'll look back and realize the distance you've covered, not because of luck or chance, but because of discipline, consistency, and faith in the compound power of small steps done well. When Jim Rohn said that discipline weighs ounces and regret weighs tons, he was describing the very essence of systems. Motivation is a spark, but systems are the engine. You can't rely on inspiration to carry you through every day. It comes and goes like the weather. But a system, a structure, a routine, that's what keeps you on the path when emotions waver. Systems are the architecture of consistent success. Motivation can get you started, but systems keep you moving when you no longer feel like it. Think about a farmer. He doesn't plant seeds because he feels inspired every morning. He plants because it's the season to plant. He waters because it's time to water. His reward comes not from enthusiasm, but from consistency. The harvest is not a product of emotion, it's a product of process. Life works the same way. If you only act when you feel like it, your results will always depend on how the wind blows. But when you build a system, a daily rhythm, success starts to grow almost automatically. A system is a series of actions designed to produce a predictable result. For example, if your goal is financial freedom, your system might include tracking expenses, saving a portion of every dollar, studying investment principles, and setting aside time weekly to review your progress. Do these actions feel exciting every day? Probably not. But do they work? Absolutely. Over time, they compound into outcomes that motivation alone could never deliver. Most people think success belongs to the most passionate, but it actually belongs to the most consistent. Passion starts the journey, but discipline completes it. Systems are the habits that turn passion into performance. The athlete who trains at the same hour every morning doesn't rely on motivation, they rely on structure. The writer who produces a page every day doesn't wait for inspiration, they follow a routine. The business person who grows steadily year after year doesn't chase excitement, they execute a process. Motivation is emotional, systems are logical. And the best part is, once your system is in motion, it begins to carry you forward even when you're tired or distracted. You don't have to think about brushing your teeth every morning, it's automatic. Imagine if your success routines were just as automatic. Reading, learning, planning, saving, exercising, reflecting. That's when the game changes. When success habits move from effort to instinct, you're no longer fighting yourself. You're being pulled forward by your own design. The beauty of systems is that they protect you from your weaker moments. They build guardrails for your goals. When you have a system in place, you don't have to negotiate with yourself every day. You don't ask, should I? You simply follow the plan. Systems remove emotion from decision making and replace it with commitment. And commitment always outperforms mood. If motivation is a wave, systems are the tide. Waves rise and fall, but the tide always moves forward. The people who rely on emotion are constantly restarting. The people who rely on systems never stop progressing. So if you want to build something lasting, wealth, health, character, mastery, stop chasing motivation and start building systems. Jim Rohn used to say, don't wish for better results, work for better habits. That's the real message. Systems are your habits multiplied by consistency. They're the invisible architecture behind every visible success. When your habits are aligned with your goals, your future becomes predictable. You don't have to hope for success. You can engineer it. So build your system, follow it faithfully, and let the structure carry you to places that motivation alone could never take you. Refinement is the real secret to lasting success. Most people believe success happens in a single grand breakthrough, a big opportunity, a lucky break, or the perfect plan that suddenly changes everything. But those who truly succeed know it doesn't work that way. Success is rarely about getting it right the first time. It's about getting better every time. The person who learns, adjusts, and improves consistently will always outrun the person who waits for perfection before starting. Every plan looks perfect in the mind until it meets reality. You might design the best strategy, the smartest business model, or the most detailed daily routine. But once you start living it, you'll quickly notice flaws. That's not failure. That's feedback. Jim Rohn used to say, don't get frustrated with the process, get fascinated with it. Each setback, each obstacle, each wrong turn is showing you how to refine your approach. Every correction brings you one step closer to mastery. Think about it. A sculptor doesn't create a masterpiece in one strike of the chisel. He chips away slowly, adjusting, improving, shaping until the vision inside the stone is revealed. The same is true for your life. You begin with a rough idea, a goal, a dream. Then, through discipline and reflection, you refine it daily. You adjust your attitude, your habits, your priorities. You stop doing what doesn't serve you and start improving what does. The process never ends, and that's the beauty of it. Refinement requires humility. It demands that you admit, I can do better. The undisciplined mind resists change and defends mistakes. The disciplined mind embraces growth and welcomes correction. That's the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. Ordinary people protect their pride. Extraordinary people protect their progress. If you can learn to see refinement not as criticism, but as evolution, you'll begin to enjoy the process of becoming better. Success doesn't reward perfection. It rewards consistency and adaptability. You don't need to know everything at the start. You just need the courage to begin, the awareness to notice what isn't working, and the wisdom to adjust quickly. A small correction made consistently can transform your entire direction. It's like a pilot adjusting his course by 1 degree. He might not notice the change instantly, but over time, it determines whether he lands at the right destination or 1,000 miles away. Every great achiever has lived through seasons of trial, error, and refinement. The difference is they didn't quit when things got hard. They studied their results, learned from mistakes, and improved their system. Winners see feedback as a gift, losers see it as failure. If something doesn't work, it's not a sign to stop. It's a sign to improve the design. The secret is to make refinement part of your identity. Don't just aim to achieve, aim to evolve. Each day ask yourself, what can I make better today? It might be your morning routine, your focus at work, your communication, or your attitude. The smallest improvements done daily create massive transformation over time. The journey from average to exceptional is simply a long series of refinements done with patience and persistence. So stop waiting for the perfect plan. There isn't one. Start where you are with what you have and improve as you go. Every lesson learned makes you wiser. Every mistake corrected makes you stronger. Every refinement brings you closer to excellence. The secret of success is not hidden in one big moment. It's woven into the small moments of improvement that no one sees. Keep refining, keep adjusting, keep becoming, because the person who commits to constant refinement will always become the person success is looking for. Live in alignment with your future means becoming today the kind of person your future success will demand tomorrow. Most people dream of the rewards, but they forget the requirements. You can't attract the future you want if you're living by the habits that belong to your past. Success is not something you pursue, it's something you align with. The goal is to become the person worthy of the success you desire. Every result is a reflection of who you are, not just what you do. If your vision is big, your character, discipline, and mindset must grow to match it. The bridge between where you are and where you want to be is built from the actions you take daily, the standards you hold, and the values you refuse to compromise. When you live in alignment with your future, you make decisions through the lens of your destiny, not your emotions. You stop asking, what do I feel like doing today? and start asking, what would my future self do right now? The answer to that question will change your direction. The future version of you is disciplined when you're tempted to drift, focused when distractions call, and consistent when comfort whispers to stop. Living in alignment means you act as if your dream is already real, and because of that belief, you start building it piece by piece. Think of it like training before a championship. The athlete doesn't wait for the big game to prepare. He lives today like a champion so that when the time comes, his victory feels natural. The same principle applies to your life. Don't wait for opportunities to show up before you decide to become ready. Prepare now, grow now, learn now. The world will eventually reward you for the work you did long before anyone was watching. Living in alignment with your future also means saying no more often. You can't move forward if you're tied to everything and everyone that keeps you stuck. Discipline is not punishment, it's preparation. Every no to distraction is a yes to destiny. You'll find that the more you align your behavior with your goals, the fewer explanations you'll need to give. The right people will understand, the wrong ones will fade away. But alignment doesn't happen automatically. It's a daily choice to think higher, act wiser, and keep promises to yourself. The future doesn't come fully formed. It grows out of your consistency. If your dream is to be financially free, you align by managing your money wisely today. If your dream is to be healthy and strong, you align by taking care of your body and your energy right now. If your dream is to lead, you align by serving and learning before the spotlight finds you. One of the greatest rewards of alignment is peace. When your actions match your vision, you stop feeling torn between what you want and what you're doing. There's a calm confidence that comes from knowing you're on the right path. Even if the results haven't appeared yet, you no longer chase success, you grow into it. You begin to trust the process because your direction is clear. The future belongs to those who prepare for it in the present. Every day is a vote for the person you're becoming. So wake up with intention. Choose thoughts, habits, and actions that pull you forward instead of holding you back. Remember, you're not waiting for your future to arrive. You're building it now. And when who you are aligns with who you want to be, success doesn't need to be forced, it flows naturally.